Hey, it's James, Father's Rights and Resources, hashtag how I got custody. I just thought of something. Somebody DM'd me about an issue that I was actually just thinking about the other day that I've ran into a few times. But when you go to court, let's say you and your ex are getting along and you want to agree to 50-50 custody and no child support. A lot of states will say, I have to do what's best for the child, and I have to order child support by one of you. Let's say the dad only wants to be an every other weekend dad because he works 12-hour shifts Monday through Friday, but the mom's gonna give him every weekend, and she's like, we'll just work out money. I don't want to order child support. The court will force that to happen on behalf of the child. Now think really hard about what that really means. They will override the will of the parents or any argument of the parents, and they will say, no, we're going to make one of you pay child support, even though you guys agree you don't want to. And also, there's times where, like let's say you're a construction worker and you're in a winter season or in a recession, like a lot of construction workers struggled. A lot of my clients struggled during the George Bush Jr. recession. Guys who made 80 grand a few years before the recession were making 40 because they would be doing handyman work because they couldn't get a regular job. Sometimes they will impute your income and say, oh, you used to make that. Now think really carefully about this. The court is saying, so you're testifying in court, I'm incapable of making that money right now. I cannot make it. So you shouldn't order child support. Let's say you're making 40 grand a year. Your child support should be $350. And they say, nope, you can make 80 grand and you should be paying $700 bucks, or maybe it goes up high at a higher rate and it's not really proportional. And let's say they say, oh, you should be paying $1,000. You can't afford that. But they're saying for the best interest and the needs and welfare of the child, we're going to force you to do it. Okay, think about that. So now they will force you to do a parenting duty and spend money on the kid, supposedly on the kid, transfer money, even though there's a testimony that you can't do it. How come they don't do that with parenting? Even though one parent says you're not able to parent the child, why don't they force you to spend time with the child and up your game on your parenting skills? They're saying, go out and get another job, or you should be able to get a job, or I think you can do better than that. Why don't they do that with parenting? I just thought about that. I never thought about it from that angle. See, like I tell you guys, I don't know everything. I don't have all this figured out, but I've learned as I went, and the more that I think about stuff, or the more I'm posed, when you know your default position and your constitutional rights, and that the court should do what's best for a child, the best interest of the child is whatever somebody defines it as, whatever the cultural norm is, So if they go out of their way to make sure the finances are there, how come the court thinks money is more important than love? In Washington, when they define parenting functions under the law, if you're a Washington person, you can look up RCW 26.09.004. That defines parenting functions. And in the factors statute, the factors for determining custody and visitation, this is so crazy. In the factors statute, it says parenting functions include loving, maintaining, consistent relationship, providing school, helping with school and medical stuff, and also financial support. So that's a parenting function. So if that's a parenting duty along with the love and all the other stuff, how come they only enforce the financial stuff? How come money is more important than love? And I would confront a judge with that. Okay, so you're telling us we can't do what we want with our freedom. Troxel versus Granville says that we are allowed to parent our child the way that we want and raise them and make decisions for our kid without government interference. You're interfering and overriding our will. We're a constitutional republic. We voted you in. You work for us. How can you be a fascist judge and tell us what to do? Well, because there's this law here. Well, any law that's repugnant to the Constitution is void. So I don't have to do that. And if you order child support, I'm not going to make him pay it. And I'm not going to tell Division of Child Support. And I'm not going to enforce it. And I'm not going to ask them to hold them in contempt. It's kind of like with income taxes. Like, there is no law requiring an income tax, so why would you pay it? If you want to voluntarily opt out of child support. Now, see, obviously, the reason why they have a law to make sure child support goes through is because the states get Title 4D money signed off by Bill Clinton, who isn't paying child support from all his secret love children, which is hypocritically crazy. He's gotten up and spoken on politics and talking about speaking at places where, no matter whether you liked him or not, or liked Trump or not, or whatever, like, he's gotten up and spoken at political rallies and stuff like that, where the topic is, Trump's infidelity and messing with porn stars or whatever, and Bill Clinton's like the face of that. Politics they're such Pharisees. Only family court judges are, well, I don't know. It's a tie between who's the worst Pharisee. But I would also tell a judge, we all know that love is 1 billion times more important than money. You don't lay on your deathbed and say, I wish I would have made more money. You say, I wish I would have had a better relationship with this person, that person, reconciled, forgave, or whatever. Every single movie in Hollywood says, the themes of love and relationships. Scrooge, the movies with a bitter old rich person who doesn't, show compassion for the poor or whatever. We all know, 100% of human beings know that love and relationships are way more important than money. Then how come you're so quick and while I'm at it, I want to stick it to the judge's conscience also. I want to help unbrainwash them and make them not want to sleep at night. Now, some of them don't have a conscience, but I still want to take a stab at it. I'm going to have to do a video where I talk about my last oral argument in front of my judge in 2020. Case started off in 2001, was in and out of court up until 2020 when I was asking for college child support. Washington is one of the few states that allow for college they call it post-secondary support, college child support. So there's some women out there that say, oh, my kids are going to go to college and I need room and board paid for at my home for them. So they just continue the regular child support. And they always give some kind of child support when a mother asks for it if the kids are going to go to college. In my case, the judge ordered the mother to pay 0, even though she made almost 3 times as much as I did. But in my 10 minutes of speech, I knew it was going to be my last argument in front of this judge. I spent 5 minutes blasting him for when I went to jail and how the mother abandoned the child, and he said that she's a hero for moving out of state in order to end the conflict between us. Like, why couldn't she just move to another county? Why'd she move 1,000 miles away and abandon her daughter? My case is sick and crazy, but... And then the judge had all these sexual deviant pervert friends, including the baby's mom's attorney, who he liked a lot and honored and let him do whatever he wanted. And I also blasted him for when he put me in jail. I went to jail because they issued a bench warrant for my arrest when I didn't show up at a contempt hearing. But I was never served the order to show cause. The judge emailed it to a personal email of mine that I wasn't using anymore. We hadn't been in court for a year, and he was using an old email address. And he was bent over backwards and doing the service for the mother instead of demanding that she do her duty and arrange service. So anyway, I blasted the judge for not caring about my daughter while I was in jail. Everybody was talking about me and what was going on with me and if I was complying with his request while I was in jail. And nobody asked how my daughter was doing because she was parentless. Anyway, I try and stick it to them like that. But I was just thinking about this child support versus love.